Hello and welcome to another devlog of Jungle Jumper. In this devlog, I'm going to be redoing the in-game UI for the most part, plus I'll be making some skins for the player character. I changed some things about the in-game UI a while ago, and this is what it looked like before the events of this devlog. You can see there's a font change that happened at some point and some layout changes as well. I added a tutorial for the first time you play the game. It's currently only in English, but I'm considering adding some more popular languages. The issue is that it's unclear how easy the game is to grasp for first-time players. If it turns out to be easy enough, I might just leave it at English only for now. Otherwise, I'll look into adding at least another 3 or so languages. I also added a tracker at the bottom of the screen to show the player where their high score is located. So at this point we have a few elements that still need to be added or replaced in the in-game UI. I'll get started with the active ability indicator. The goal with my UI is to display what the user needs to know with as little text as possible, so I'll be replacing these text indicators with icons. Additionally, I'll use this circular status bar to show how many uses the active ability has left. So this is what that looks like. You can see when the ability is activated, it has a full status bar, and then when I use it, it is slowly depleted. For the icons, I ended up scaling up the shop icons and redrawing them a bit to have a higher pixel density. The actual ability buttons I replaced with the same icons, and I also made them color-coded and added a little ring around them with a warping effect that I took from this asset. And they now have a number indicator showing how many uses the ability has left. For the touch controls, I added some simple icons for the directional controls and a little fist icon for the grab control. And that's about it for the in-game UI. Well, not quite. There's still the death screen that needs to be redone, but that's for later. Next up is the spike layer. Currently, there's just a white surface with some placeholder spikes on top. I'm gonna need a ground sprite and a spike sprite to replace this. I'll also make a background spike layer to make the transition a little less jarring. Add them all together and it looks like this. The in-game prefab also needs to be updated. Now that that's implemented, the tomb sprite really stands out. I think it's time to replace that too. So going back to A sprite, I'll drop a new and improved tomb sprite. After a bit of playing around with the menu design, here's how the new tomb sprite looks in-game. The purpose of the tomb sprite is to mark the player's high score location in-game. I was thinking of adding an individual tomb for every player death location, but if I do that, it will be in post-release. Finally, I still need to update the trampoline and jetpack sprites since they are also placeholders. Well, now that that's done, there's one more UI related thing to finish before the user interface portion of my game is completely done. It's the death screen I mentioned earlier. I can actually remake the screen without drawing any new sprites. And after a little repositioning, this window is done. And with that, the user interface is completed. It definitely took a while. What I have to do now is add some player skins to the game. Currently we have this monkey skin that I always use in the videos, and we have the default player skin, which is really just a placeholder. I want to have at least 4 skins the player can choose from, and 1 extra skin as an incentive to purchase the ad-free version. So after a little bit of drawing up some concept skins, I settled on the skins I want to add. I'll be making the player just a normal human with a blue shirt and brown pants. The monkey I'll leave as is. Then I decided to add a scarecrow skin and an ash gold looking thing. As the premium skin, I chose to make a skeleton. As a little precursor to the skins section, I'll just mention that each limb can move freely in-game like you see with the monkey skin. And the arm and leg limbs only need to be drawn once since they will be mirrored and reused on both sides of the body. So with that out of the way, enjoy the time lapse of me drawing some player skins. And those were the player skins. I'll be adding them to the game next episode, but before this episode comes to an end, I still want to add some hat skins to the game. I'll draw one hat skin that goes along with each player skin. And while the time-lapse is playing, please consider subscribing if you enjoy my content and want to see more. And of course, a like is always appreciated. Well, that was all I have for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.